All right, well, let's move through to our main topic for tonight. So the guest speaker tonight, it is me. And I'm going to sort of reveal some of the secrets on that I use to write copy. For those of you that don't know me or haven't been around my world for very long, I really started online. It would have been back in the late, I was going to say 70s. That was a bit early, the late 80s, and started with a CompuServe account, if anyone remembers that. But I've been interested in the online for that long. And I built a finance business using online marketing strategies. In fact, the formula I'm going to talk about tonight, this is one that I learned back in the early 2000s. And so it's by a gentleman by the name of Eugene Schwartz, who was around early last century. He was around before we had internet. So he was really around in the age of print ads, in newspapers, magazines, that style of things there. But, what he talks about is as relevant today as it is back then, because he's got some timeless information and formulas that really do work, particularly with the copy side of things. And the reason why they work is he's dealing with humans. He's not dealing with technology. He's dealing with humans, how they think, how they respond, their emotions, and even today, when you look at things like news on news sites online, you'll always see they have headlines and sub-headlines, and generally they're either shocking headlines, they're sort of fascinating, interesting, they have an angle there. The purpose of the headline is to get you to read further and to consume the rest of the content. So, some of those there, so journalists use some of these copywriting strategies very well. Some of them use them okay, but it really is designed to draw you in and to get you reading. So if you want some good hints and tips around copy, it's good to have a look at how newspapers and online publication use copy, and just notice what it is that they do that draws you in or gets you reading the next line. And there was a concept, when writing copy, is that every line that you write or every sentence that you write, it has one job. And that one job is to get you to read the next sentence. So every sentence should get you to read the next sentence. That's its job. So any good copy is something you absolutely have to keep reading, and you can't put it down. And it's like a really good, say, fiction book or maybe an autobiography that you start reading it, you get drawn into it, and so before you know it, it's sort of 3 o'clock in the morning, and you just haven't been able to put down the book. So that really is the bones of good copy. So reading stories like that also helps you to create good copy as well. So copy is the lifeblood of what we do online, and you're pretty much going to be using it for a lot of what you do. So if you're promoting online courses, if you are in social media, creating posts in social media to promote your business, if you are doing website content or email marketing, you are going to be using written word to convey your concepts. And generally what you want is something that encourages people to take some form of action at the end of it. So that action might be, to book an appointment with you. It could be to, click through to a landing page or a website page. It could be to, send you an email or make an inquiry. So that's the call to action, but it's all designed to get people to take an action. So I've got a couple of famous quotes on copywriting, and these really are quite helpful too. And some of these have been, guides for me as I'm writing my copy. So those of you that do know me know that I am a prolific writer of copy. We've got posts out there every day. So I don't write all of the posts, but I do write some of them, and I write some of the concepts in it. And of course, promotions for the show, that there's a combination of copy that I write, using the likes of ChatGPT to speed some things up, and using some of those tools around there. So I do write a lot of copy, and I'm a writer as well too. So I don't record a lot of my copy with tools like Otter, although I have done that. I am a writer, so I get a lot of my inspiration and thinking by actually the writing process. And when I say writing, It's generally not pen and paper. It's keyboard and screen. And interestingly enough, I do a lot of my writing on my iPhone as well. So I'll craft copy on my iPhone and find that, works quite well with me as well. So I've got good thumbs that can actually type so fairly quickly. But here's a quote by John E. Kennedy, not John F. Kennedy. This is John E. Kennedy back in 1905. So definitely the early stages of last century. It's a really famous quote, this one here. And he says that advertising is salesmanship or salespersonship in print. And his contention was that when you are having sales conversations with people, when you're advertising, you're just putting that conversation that you've had into text, black and white text. So the way you speak is the way you should write. And once you master there, then you find that this whole copywriting thing becomes a whole lot easier. And some ways to do that make it easier. So for some of you, you might find it easy to to write in spoken form just by speaking. So I know that there have been occasions when I've had sales conversations or conversations with people. I've recorded it. And it's easy to do these days with a phone in your pocket. And then I've gone back and then transcribed it and just pulled out what are the things that I say, how have I said it. And that gives a lot of good material to then craft and shape copy in a way that's conversational. So copy, text, conversational.
Yeah.
So Paul?
Did Kennedy say anything about the print versus online?
Not at that stage there, because there was no online in 1900. So the principles, they're still the same though. So yes, he says your ad should say in print, and he was an advertising person. So your ad should say in print precisely what a good salesperson would say face to face, instead of general claims. So not generalizing. So instead of general claims, pretty pictures or jingles, an ad should offer a concrete reason why the product is worth buying. So if you're looking at ads on TV or online, if often they'll have jingles for things on TV, that sort of thing there. That's not what sells. What really sells is having a concrete reason why. So that is applicable today, and that's definitely something to take out from that particular quote. Next one is Joanna Wiebe. And she says, your job is not to write copy. So that's really important. You're not setting out to write copy. Your job is, and this is really important to understand, and once you get this, it makes the whole process a whole lot easier. Your job is to know your visitors, customers, and prospects so well that you understand the situation they're in right now, where they'd like to be, and exactly how your solution can and will get them to their ideal self. So put that another way, it is being able to understand your prospects there and your customers, and you're able to articulate what they're feeling, what they're thinking, better than they can themselves. And so you're able to put into words what they feel and what they say in a way that they respond with, that sounds like me, or that's exactly like me. That's the sort of response that you want to get. So it really is placing yourself in their shoes to think, what's it like in their world now, and what are the words that they're using to describe their world. So often I find that conversations you have with people, it's really important to listen out to conversations you have with people that are either maybe sales conversations, or you're just talking to them about what you do, but more importantly, you're getting them to talk to you about what their issues, the pain that they've got is, or the solutions they're looking for, why it's important, and how it would impact their life. So just ask them and listen to what they're saying, how they're saying it, how they're feeling, how they're moving, what their facial expressions are like. Just pay attention to that, and that will really help you to craft really good copy. And good copy just repeats back to them exactly what they've said. And you can often use the same words that they've said. And if one person you're talking to, or maybe sort of 2 or 3 people, you just notice that they are using the same types of words. If you use those exact same words back in your copy, that there will increase your conversion rate or your inquiry rate, and it'll create really good copy for you. So the answer is not to make it up yourself. It's to steal it from other people. So from your clients, customers, and prospects. And so one of the things you can do too is just jump on the phone, ring up people who might be your ideal prospects or customers. Tell them you're doing you're doing some research, because you are doing some research, and you just like to get their opinion. People love giving their opinion. They're saying, doing some research, like to get your opinion. Would they be happy to answer a couple of questions? Usually people are happy to do that. And so then you can ask them about, so if you've got a product or a service to sell, let's say you're a natural therapist, and you just ask them a question. What would you go and see a natural therapist for? What would encourage you to do it? Just listen to what they say. And then you can just ask them a series of questions. Now you'll start to get the flow of what are the right questions to ask. Probably doesn't matter too much the question you ask, but what really matters is what they say. And just record some of the things that they say. And that's really going to give you the basis of good copy. So I just want to start there. So this is just prefacing it. And here's another really good quote. Copy is a direct conversation with the consumer. So it is a conversation, and the best copy is one where people start talking to themselves. And just notice yourself when you're reading copy. If you start having a conversation with yourself when you are reading someone else's copy, then that is good copy. Particularly if you start to say things, well, that's just like me, or I felt that way. Or you start to raise some questions, what about this or what about that? Then, once you start to talk with yourself in this, that's having a conversation with copy. So, so that's what you want your text and copy to do. All right, so I'm going to talk to you about this particular formula here. It is the pastor formula. I know we have a theologian on board here today, so this is not a theological formula. This one just happens to be an acronym that really sort of works quite well with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the formula, and side by side, I'm going to show you how I used ChatGPT alongside this formula to quickly craft copy. So I was able to do in about an hour a full sales page that might have taken me days to do, or a week or more to do. And when I say a week or more, often that is thinking through concepts, it's collating information together. But using ChatGPT, you can dramatically speed up the process. But take note, this is the pastor formula. Now, what I might do is let me just bring down my screen here. Okay, that's probably not going to work quite so well. All right, so it is the pastor formula. Pastor is, there are three elements to it. The first one is the person. So you've got to identify really quite clearly who the person is you're speaking to. So when you're writing copy, you're not writing to the masses or not writing general copy, you're writing to one person. So you need to think of sort of a person in your mind and be writing and having a conversation with that one person. So that's really key. And so you might pick out, say, your ideal client. It might be someone that you've had a conversation with recently. It may be someone that really exemplifies a problem that you solve, or an issue that you work with them about. But you want to talk to that person directly. If it helps you to have a photo of them or a picture in front of you, that's all good. But you want to make sure, you want to listen to the responses you're getting back. I know it's in your mind, but you're having a conversation and listening to the responses you get back. That's when you start to get into the flow of the writing. And so that's why it's also important to listen to what they say when you speak to people as well too. But think about, you're only writing to one person. And by doing that, you get a very personalized copy. You have conversational style, and it means it's very readable. And you'll often find that, the way one person thinks is the way lots of people think as well. So easy if you can just picture one person. So, if you picture a person, that's like your avatar. I don't have necessarily say an avatar right to, but I think of a person I'm writing to. You need to define the problem. So what is the specific problem that they have that you're solving? Now, what's really important here is that you're not talking about your product and service. So not talking about the problem around all that there. You're thinking about what are the words that they're using to describe their condition right now, or to describe their situation right now. So again, that's why it's really important to listen to what people are saying before you start writing the copy. So what are they saying about it? And I know with, say, writing copy, often people say to me that, you know, they don't know where to start. Blank page syndrome. Sometimes they'll use that word, or they'll just say, look, I've just got no idea where to start, or I don't have any ideas on, well, you know, so those are the words. So think about the words that they're using. And the third P is pain. So how does it affect them? What's the impact on them? How is it affecting their life? You know, if they continue on this, you know, what's it actually doing to them? So that's really the start of your copy. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump over to ChatGPT. And so let's see if we can, and I'm going to give you a link to this ChatGPT thread at the end of this evening, so you can follow it through and you can see the sorts of prompts that I'm using for it. Let me just make it a wee bit bigger here. So the first thing that I did is to and I had a conversation with ChatGPT. So have a conversation with it as if you're having a conversation with a person. Don't swear at it, because you never know what it's going to give you back again. Just work with it and you know, pretend it's a you know, 14-year-old child that needs additional instructions. So my first instruction to it was, we're going to write sales copy together. Using Eugene Schwartz's pastel formula. So it is his formula, so we're using that. So I'm hoping that ChatGPT understands what that is or knows what it is. So I'm going to ask you to construct piece by piece. Are you good with that? And please write in the English language. ChatGPT responds, absolutely. I'm ready to help you craft sales copy using the pastel formula. Step by step, just let me know where you'd like to start and we'll dive right in. All right, so the next place I started was really setting the scene. And so the way that I set the scene is I described who we were aiming this at. So I've got quite a comprehensive description of the person that I'm writing to. So, you know, we're writing a sales letter to one person. This is the person who it is. So first thing I did is said, okay, the avatar that we're aiming for is someone who is in the 35 to 45 year age group, works a regular 9 to 5 job in middle management or seniority level, and is unfulfilled, stressed by work, doesn't get acknowledged for the work that she or he does. They have a mortgage, couple of kids, happily married, somewhat happily married, have normal money worries, and is not spending enough time with family. So I know this is a fairly general thing, but it does impact a lot of people. Ideally, she or he would like to spend less time at work, more time with family and leisure time outside work. So I'm just going to describe their situation. You know, they've got kids there, trying to get them through to university without being saddled with student loans, wants to help them buy a car and a house when the time comes. And at the moment, she or he does not have enough put away in superannuation to have a good retirement at 60 and beyond. So at the moment, they're 35 to 45, but they just haven't got enough put away for, you know, when they get to that retirement at 60. And they can't afford to put more money into super at the moment. So the prospect of pay rises in the future is unlikely. The cost of living, interest rates, and general costs keep increasing, meaning she or he has less disposable income, and she or he'd like to find a way to make a bit more money, maybe with an online semi-passive and or recurring income, but can only dedicate 2 to 5 hours a week on it. So she or he are interested in making money online, not very techy, not sure where to start, but is willing to learn and invest in courses or programs to help, and needs some guidance and support. So that's the information about the person. Now you can get sort of more detailed than that, but that was just the general sort of context around it. And this is based on, you know, someone that I know. So what I've asked ChatGPT to do is to write a detailed avatar based on this description. And the avatar will be writing copy for in the next steps. Please write it in the English language. So what ChatGPT has gone and done now is it's gone and written an avatar of this person here. So this is really important. This is the person that we're going to be speaking to. So we've got quite a comprehensive avatar. So that just gives you, if you've wondered what an avatar is, it is, your ideal client. You can have more than one avatar. You might have sort of 2, 3, 4, 5 different avatars that your product or service services. So you can use this type of prompt there to create your avatar. So they give some background, location, suburban area, likely mid-sized city. So they put some things in here I've forgotten about as well, which is why I've asked it to craft it. They've given some background, family life, their financial situation, aspirations, some of the pain points that they've got. And so they've pulled those out of the information I've given, and also some of their motivations, their likely motivations. And then also, what they need. So they've called this avatar Alex, said this could be a male or a female. And so this person is now going to be the center of the pasta formula that we're going to use for sales copy. So that's really the first place to start. And that there is really understanding the first part of the pasta formula, which is the person. Who are we talking to, and who are we addressing, and what is it that we're dealing with. So person is the very first thing. All right. So next stage though is I'm talking about my product or solution. So I'm just putting some more information into ChatGPT now that we've got the avatar. So I said, great. Program we're selling to Alex, who's our avatar, is an online course teaching how to use PLR products, which is private label rights products, affiliate marketing, creating online courses and memberships to create recurring semi-passive income with an online business. So in fact, this is a real sort of case study. So I'm not just making this up. This is a program that will be I'll be offering in the future. So this is just the start of the work on this. So it's a real live case study. So what I've said is, this will take a novice, Alex, from little knowledge through to having an online income generating business where they'll make $100 a day on average. And once Alex has learnt the skills, he can replicate the process to create additional online businesses, and will know how to build and grow a business to reach a target of $1,000 a day in revenue. So, and they'll put some context around, what the program is. 6 weeks, delivered by Zoom as a membership portal that replays additional resources, links, apps, tools, websites, templates, cheat sheets, worksheets. So I listed all the things in there that is going to be part of the training. Q&A sessions of every week, a Facebook group for collaboration, sharing. And so I've gone through and said, keep this in mind as we construct the copy for the sales page and the promotions. And just because I'm polite, I said, are you okay with this? Is there any more information you need to know? Get started. So I asked that question, which is really important. Is there any more information you need to know? So ChatGPT might come up and say, well, there's some things that I've forgotten. And so you can include those as well too. ChatGPT has said, great, I'm all set with the information you provided. So we can start. So the next part of the prompt is, I said, there are 3 parts. Oh, actually, yeah, so here's an issue with ChatGPT. So it says, I'm all set with the information you provided. We can start constructing the sales copy using the pasta formula. If there's anything specific you'd like to focus on first, let me know. Or we can start with a problem section of the formula. Now, if we go back to the presentation, the problem section is only one of the sections of the P. So remember, there's person, problem, and pain. So it's only identified the middle one, which is the problem. So I want to make sure it picks them all up. So gone back to ChatGPT and given it the information. And I've said, so I've given it sort of information about what each of them are, so that there's person, problem, and pain. So it understands it and said that we're going to work through these one by one. Okay, so, and the first thing I've done is to work with the P example. Now, when I did try this, we got a couple of false starts with it, and so you'll do that. So you just need to refine your prompts a bit to get it to work well for you. So here we've got, let's break down step by step. So first of all, it just gave me it all. So it gave me, person, problem, and pain. So ChatGPT doesn't work well if you ask it to create large chunks of copy. So what I wanted to do is not to give me those three sections, problem, pain, and person, all at once. I want it to give it to me one by one. So I've asked it to disregard that and said, okay, let's just write for the person. And so I've given it some prompts there to do that, and I've asked it for 10 possible headline options as well. So it's given me 10 options, for the overworked professional yearning for more time with family. Yeah, that's sort of okay, but it's not great. Who uses the word yearning in their everyday conversation? Not many people. For the busy parent balancing work, stress, and family life, yeah, possibly. For the corporate leader who wants to escape the 9-to-5 grind, sort of like that. That's quite a good one. So the reason why I ask for 10 ideas here is that you get some okay, some no good, and some possibilities that you can massage into something that is worthwhile. And so I've asked it then. It's given a headline. This is for. So I've asked it to turn it into a question. And given it an example and asked it to give me 10 examples, options for questions. So instead of just the statements, are you an overworked professional, or are you a mid-career professional dreaming of financial freedom? Are you a corporate leader who wants to escape the 9-to-5? So it's a little better. And then I've asked it to pick the best one. So I was just a bit lazy. I would have, generally massaged some of that into something that I like and then added it and say, let's go with this one. But I've just asked it to pick the best one and then to write the copy for the person part of the page. So what it's done is it's given us the copy for it, and you can see that it tells us, that it's given us the copy for it, and for this one, it's been good because it's given us the reasons why it wrote the copy here. So it says this. So it says, first of all, here's the pre-headline that you should use. Are you an ambitious professional seeking a way out of the rat race? Yeah, that's probably quite a good one. This question is likely to grab attention because it speaks directly for Alex's desire for change, hints at the frustration in their situation, and promises that there'll be an alternative. Now that there is a really good premise for writing copy. So understand the example, you can start to see how it puts it together. If you find that's off or it's not quite right, then you can ask it to change that and redo it. So here's the copy for the person section. So it's given a pre-headline. Are you an ambitious professional seeking a way out of the rat race? And then it says, here's the headline. So the pre-headline is what goes before the headline. It's often in smaller text, and it really addresses who the person is. So the pre-headline in your copy is the person calls out and identifies the person. And you can see that it's really quite short. It's only are you an ambitious professional seeking a way out of the rat race? So it is, people that are in that position say, and if they say, yes, that's me. So that's where that comes in. They say, yes, that's me. Then that's what will get them, reading further. So remember, your copy is to get people to really identify with it, and you're buying time for them to read the next line. The next line is a headline: break free from the daily grind. Discover how you can build a profitable online business in just 6 weeks, even with no tech skills. So that's a reasonably good headline as well. I probably wouldn't tweak that too much. Beneath the headline, they have a sub-headline, and that is finally a step-by-step program designed for professionals like you who are ready to reclaim their time, secure their financial future, and live life on their own terms. Now, there is a couple of words in here which are really good, and that's those two words, like you. And the reason why those words are good, whoops, I just lost it there for a minute as I was enlarging the screen. The reason why the words like you are very good is that it gets people to identify with the copy. It's like you, so you're calling them out. So that's a really good phrase to use. So if you're writing out good phrases, that combination of words, that's really good to use. And then we've got the pre-headline, headline, sub-headline, opening paragraph. So if you're like most driven professionals, you've worked tirelessly to reach where you are today, but despite the hours, effort, and dedication, satisfaction you crave, etc., etc., the rat race isn't just exhausting; it's holding you back from living the life you know you deserve. Now, one of the words I don't like in that is tirelessly. I often see that in ChatGPT copy. So what I've asked it to do is I said, look, this is almost perfect. I don't like the word tirelessly. Let's find an alternative way to convey this. And the other thing I should mention is the copy needs to be written addressing you and your rather than them and they. So that's another good principle for your copy. When you're writing, write it to the person. So don't write it to a general group of people. So don't use words like them and they. You use words of you and your, and also don't use the words I and me. So let's say, for instance, say this is my program. Think of a way you can change that around. So like, in this program you will experience. So, or when you buy this program you will. So don't use the word I. Try and turn everything into you. So use that case there. So what ChatGPT's come and done is it's revised the copy and it's removed that word tirelessly, and it's focused on you and your through. So can you see how I'm now starting to train ChatGPT to write the way that I want it to write? Does that make sense? So you need to spend the time, particularly in the early part, training it to do exactly what you want. So you're almost treating it as if they're a student, a 14-year-old student at school, and you've got to give them instructions. They give it a go. You come back and you mark their work and you give them suggestions on how they can improve it. So you keep doing that. Now that's really, really important. If you want to get good copy out, it's really important to do it this way. Otherwise, you're going to get stuff out that's very generic. You're going to be disappointed with it. It's not going to convert. It's not going to sell. So it's worth spending the time, doing this. And so what it's done now is it's given me that copy for the person part. So all I've done now is grab that, copied that, and set up a Google Sheet. And I'm going to give you this Google Sheet at the end of tonight too, so you can see exactly how it's constructed. So this Google Sheet is where I paste everything in. So at the very top, I've got the ChatGPT link there. So you'll be able to click on that. You'll be able to see all the prompts that I've given you. So that's really just for you. I've got the avatar. So this avatar that I've put in there, I've pasted that into here as well too. And you can see that that's quite long. So that's a good page and a half, almost 2 pages, describing the avatar. So it's quite a bit of information in there. So, and you want to have it that detailed. So remember, I put in some of it. ChatGPT did the rest of the work. We did a bit of tinkering with it until we got it so it was pretty well just right. And then I've started with the example. So past the formula. So here we've got the person section. So that was the P part of, or the person part of the P area here. So we've got ChatGPT working on that. So I just really pasted that in there. And so this is how I'm building up the copy. Next section that we're looking at is the problem. So that's number 2 in the P section. So again, we've got prompts in ChatGPT that work through to the problem part. So what you'll find is as you're going through these early parts, your prompts are going to be longer, and you're asking it to do more refining for you. But as you're doing it in parts and stages, it will remember, and you'll see where it says updated the memory. It'll remember what you're looking for based on your past instructions, and it will follow it through for the rest of the page. So here we've got, so I've asked it to do the problem. I said, let's move on to the problem part of P. Again, write it in English language. It just automatically pops and write it in the English language. And so now it's given us the problem part. Now you'll notice with this, you'll see that each time it's given me a headline. So these are going to be sub-headlines in the copy. So this is when you're then formatting your copy on the web page, you need to sort of make it very clear for people to read. And so where you see headline, there'll be sub-headlines, and that means that you might have sort of 10 or 15 sub-headlines on the page. People can scan through those sub-headlines and they'll get the gist of what the page is all about. So you want that to be the case. They can read top to bottom, scanning the headlines, they know what it's about. Then people often go back and start to read some of the detail of it. So if they're interested, if they're not interested in it, they'll scan it, they'll leave it. If they're interested in it, they'll scan it, and then they'll stop to read some of the copy, which is what you want. So make sure that, where it says headline, in your page, you're going to turn it into bold so it does stand out. So it's going to be a headline. And then it gives you the body copy as well. So that's your paragraphs in there. So now it's given us another 3 paragraphs, and it's told us why it's done it this way. So it's actually it's teaching you as well as you teaching it. So it gives you the rationale behind it. So when we're using this particular pastoral formula, it's giving you its understanding of it as well too. So that was pretty good. I just grabbed that, copied that into this section here, which is the problem, and you can see that's about half a page's worth of text. Now in there, when you come back to at the end, it's not going to be perfect. So it's going to have words in there that are not conversational, not the way you say it, and you will come back. Well, you should come back and edit it. You might rewrite parts of it. You might add bits in. You might take parts of it out. But what it's doing here is it's speeding up the process of writing. You're not having to start from scratch. You've got a basis here, and then you can massage it and work it into something that is really good for yourself. So again, it's not going to take you days and weeks to write this. It's going to take you an hour, maybe a couple of hours, writing a page like this. So it really is going to make it a lot easier for you. Okay, so there's that one there. And so because I'm having a conversation with ChatGPT, it's my friend now. So I said, great, you're on a roll. Let's move on to the pain section. So if we look at the next part here, so we've got the pain section. So we're still on P at the moment. So a lot of this is all in this front area. And you do spend a bit of time here. So the next area working is the pain. So I've asked it to write that, and it's given us the copy for the pain. Okay, that was pretty good. And so I've asked it, great job. You're happy with what you've written for each of the P sections? Are there any improvements to make it better, or is it as good as you can do? So it's come back and says, yeah, it's pretty much as good as I can do unless you want to make any changes. So the reason why I put that in there is sometimes it will come back with some suggestions or rewrite it in a way that is just a little bit better, or gives you another angle to it all. But in this case here, it said, there are some potential improvements that I could make. We could put in more specific examples in the pain section, and we could tighten the language a bit as well. So, and that was probably right. So consider tightening the language, make the copy even more concise. That's the sort of thing I'd come back and edit. So I was actually happy enough to proceed with that one there. All right, so that's P. You've covered the P, the person, the problem, the pain. That is a good chunk of copy. So that's the part that really draws people in, because you're talking specifically to them to the point where they're saying, yes, that sounds like me. Sounds like you might have a solution for it. Let's read on. But we're not finished yet. So the next part is to amplify it. So amplifying means to really get them into there's 2 things. The ideal, so where they want to move to. So, what's going to be ideal? If they fix this issue, problem, or they learn a new skill, they get the solution, what's life going to be like? What's it going to look like for them? What's it going to feel like? How's it going to sound? So it's really sort of getting them to really sort of dream big and think about that. The other side of it is the pain side of it. Like, if you don't do anything about it now, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, what's going to be the impact? What's life going to be like? So you're starting to contrast, the good with the bad, and getting them to think in the future about, if they do something about it today, what's life going to be like? Or if they don't do anything about it, how much worse is it going to get? So again, we're into that. So I've just asked ChatGPT, I said, so I've defined what this is. So I'm not assuming that ChatGPT knows that A means amplify. I'm wanting to check this because, ChatGPT hasn't always, the right thing. So I'm wanting to make sure it knows. So I said the A section, which is amplify. What's your understanding of what this part of the formula means? So I'm asking for it to check that first so that so we get what we want. So it says the amplify section in the pastoral formula is about intensifying the urgency and emotional impact of the problems and pain that you've already outlined. So 100%, that's exactly what it's about. In this section, you'll highlight the consequences of inaction painting a vivid picture of what will happen if the prospect, in this case, Alex, doesn't take steps to solve their particular problem or issue. So that's 100% what Amplifiers is about. So if you didn't know what it's about, you've got an education about what it's about, but it is in fact what it's about. And this is the key elements of this is 1, consequences of inaction. 2, you're escalating the pain, so making it feel even worse. Number 3, you're appealing to their sort of fear of regret, getting them to imagine what life will be like in a few years if nothing changes. So that's future regret. Worsening circumstances is number 4. So describing how external factors like the rising cost of living, because that's a reality today, isn't it? Increasing job demands or slow depletion of savings will continue to work against Alex, our avatar, making it even harder to escape the future. So that's what the Amplify does. It is, what happens if you don't take action? How much more painful can it be if it continues this way? What's going to be like in the future if you don't take action, and how much worse will it be? Talking about how things are going to get worse. So the goal of that section is to make the person feel that there's a strong sense of urgency to do something now rather than putting it off to later. So that Amplify section is really important because you're locking in that now's the time to actually do something. So notice we haven't sort of got to the product, your service, the solution that you're offering. All we're doing is we're just getting an agreement here that they need to do something about it now. Does that make sense? So and this is a sales process as well. If you follow this formula in a sales process, it's exactly this formula as well too. All right, and ChatGPT's asked me if I'm happy to proceed with drafting the Amplify section, and I said yes, please go ahead and write it. And if nothing changes, and then it's giving us the body text. Now fast forward a few years, so now we're getting into it painting a picture of what could happen in the future. So I wasn't 100% with that one, so I said to it, so I've given it another prompt and said, this is good, but I think we need more detail. Can we add in some examples based on real life for Alex? So ChatGPT's come back and written it, and it's come back with better copy as well too. So it's come back, picture yourself still stuck in the same job. So fast forward a few years, dealing with the same stress, long hours continue, health starts to deteriorate. So that's something new it's introduced into here as well too. And stress becomes your constant companion. So really sort of runs through that, and that's a reasonably sort of long section in there as well too. It did a pretty good job with that as well too. And it's told me what enhancements it's made. So it said it's now added in some specific real life scenarios. So it talked about Saturday morning struggles. So, the conflicts between work and family time. So it's given an example. It said, missing a son or daughter's soccer match, and how that disappointed the child and how guilty, he or she felt. Missing milestones, financial anxiety, so sort of dealing with some of these financial issues, health impacts. So it talks about sort of some of the real life stuff that's put into there, added a bit more emotional depth into it, sort of guilt and regret, fear of uncertainty, and then it's given, just imagine yourself in the future. So it's future pasted out there and given some examples. If nothing changes, what's going to be the impact of that inaction? And then it's also given a positive as well. So you can't just leave people in on a negative. You need to have negative and positive as well. So they've got to imagine a better future. So what happens is you take them down to the depths of despair, if they do nothing, but you've also got to bring them back out so that they imagine sort of a future there where all of these issues or problems have disappeared, and they're living the life that they want. So in this particular case, so and again, we haven't talked about a product or service yet. So one of the problems people often make is they start talking about their problem or solution. So not even talking about it yet, and we're over halfway through this sales copy. And so this could be website, it could be email, it could be social media, but this is the formula. So I really just copied and paste that, drop that into our document. So have a look at the pane and amplify it. And you can notice that the amplify, I think, is about a good page. It's just over a page and a half. And then the next part of the pasta, the third part, is S. So S stands for story. and also stands for solution. So solution now is where you start to introduce your product or solution. But what's the story section? So stories are really good. Just remember when you were, growing up as a kid, maybe you had stories, read to you by your parents, your teachers, your grandparents, or you may have read stories to your kids. So, stories are things that people relate to, even as big kids as we are today. And read the stories where you connect with your prospect at a much, much deeper level. Sharing something that's real, something that's happened, something that either you or someone that you know has experienced. So this really puts it into, this is not hypothetical. This is an actual situation. So what's helpful here is if you've got, stories about you being in that situation that they're in right now and how you got yourself out of it, or if it's not you, if it's clients that you work with, use their stories. If you don't have those stories, it might be someone else who you haven't worked with. They've got a story about it and you can draw in, what was the impact for them. So try and find real characters there that you can talk about their story. People will relate to the real characters more than they relate to the hypothetical. So that's why it's important to get case studies. So go and interview your clients, and get some case studies from them. Ask them, what was it like before they came along to you? What's it like now? How's that transformation been for them? And really what you want that story to do, that's one of the things that really draws up people in. And it really does sort of show, people that are reading either that you understand the situation because you've been in that situation, or that you work with other people that are in the situation, and that there is a way through it. There is a solution. There is a way through. And so really that story part is often about, it includes transformation. So it was like, this is the past before I met you. This is how I transformed. So everything you do with your programs is about transformation. Even a motor mechanic, you're transforming your car from a spluttering old beast there into something that is a smooth, reliable vehicle. Everything's a transformation. Think about it. That's a really important word. Think about how does your product and service, what transformation do you offer? And then your solution, which is the next part, is where you introduce your product or service. So again, we've got ChatGPT to give us a story. Now, this is where you might need to give it a bit more information, because ChatGPT won't know your client's stories. So what you can do in this section here is, if you've got Google reviews or Facebook reviews or LinkedIn reviews, go and grab those reviews, put them in there, ask ChatGPT to create some stories using that as a basis. I haven't done that here, but I would definitely do that if I had more time. I just didn't have time for that there. Or think about, some of your clients and just write out what their story is, their transformation, put it in there, and then ChatGPT will use your content to then craft the story. And then the solution there is really your, where are we? That's really your product or your service. That's your solution. So again, you need to give ChatGPT the context of what it is that you're selling. And that's what I did right at the very beginning. So that's why I gave it all of that information right at the very, very beginning. Now it's pulling this out and it's writing some copy out around that solution. So you can see that it's saying, take control of the future. Good news is you don't have to do it alone. We are introducing the whatever the course name is. I haven't told it what the course name is. It's a 6-week program designed specifically for professionals like you, so we've used that word again, who are ready to break free from the 9-to-5 grind and build a sustainable, semi-passive online income. And then it goes through and talks about, weekly live Zoom trainings as a membership portal, step-by-step guidance, Q&A sessions, private Facebook groups, 6-month ad hoc support, and then who it's for, and you could in fact include a section in there who it's not for. So again, this is given who it's for. I would craft this up a bit differently. So I'll come back to this again, say who is this not for? And so who it's not for, people that are clearly not wanting to take any action or want you to do it all for them, or blaming other people for their sort of woes and whatever in life. So you can start to add that in as well too. So then we just grab that copy there that is crafted and pop it into our document. So we've got a story and we've got our solution in there. So the next part of it is, that's story and solution, is T, getting towards the end of this now. Transformation and testimony. So there's that word transformation. So we've already used it in our testimonial, so that story area. And so we're talking about sort of our transformation and testimonials, or testimonials. So if we scroll down here, so testimonials are things that other people have said. So first of all, transformation is you're describing what sort of transformation they can expect. If they can't draw to save themselves, then coming to an online art class, they will start to create things that look like almost like masterpieces, what will look like a masterpiece for them compared to what they were doing before. They might have been drawing stick figures before. Now they can draw full bodies that actually look like humans. So they describe that sort of transformation and describe how it feels to have that transformation as well too. So really important to use the emotion words to describe how it feels. So when you're asking ChatGPT, ask it for the emotions as well too. Social proof, it's made up some testimonials. Don't make them up. Go and get real testimonials. It's just in there as to say this is, you need to put your testimonials in there. But go and get real life testimonials. If you don't have any testimonials, go and ask people for it. People are often gladly willing to give you some testimonials. If they don't want to write it, just record it, have a conversation with them, jot it out for them, ask them if they're happy with it and happy to sign it off. So it's given some examples of the types of testimony, and you can use this as a guide in terms of what you can ask people for. So the testimonials should be relatable, like real people basically. Talk about specific results. So again, if we take that drawing concept, it's like, I didn't think I was much of an artist, but at the end of doing sort of Natalie's course, I've got a whole new way and whole new appreciation of art. I can actually draw some things. I have surprised myself. You want sort of specific results in there so people think, wow, that's amazing. Even better if you can get some pictures in there as well too, or some images. And testimonies should be from a variety of people as well too. So don't make them all sort of grey-haired, white men. Make sure you've got sort of a diversity of people that are young, old, women, men, sort of different backgrounds, all that there, so that you're relating to a whole range of people there. So your testimonials really are social proof. Absolutely critical you have those in your copy. Okay, and the last two sections are your offer. That's really important. What is it you're offering? So tell people, this is what people often miss out, is the offer. So the offer is what, you telling what is the program you're offering. It is a 6-week program. It includes weekly live Zoom trainings, membership portal, step-by-step guidance, Q&A sessions, etc., etc., etc. It's really just a list of the things they get, and maybe additional things. You might want to put in some additional things like particular bonuses or sort of special things if they, if they take action today, that sort of thing there. And then the last part of it, so we talk, the O is for offer, and then the R in pastoral is response. So the response is you have to tell people how to respond, what to do. And this is a part that people miss out all the time. So, and it's really short. It can be click the button below. That's telling them to do something, or fill in the form below. So that there is your call to action, or getting the response. And so all of that there, so ChatGPT is, so I've used that to craft the sales page, and there you go. There is that sales copy. Now that is 16 pages worth of sales copy. Think, wow, that's a lot. Who would read all that? Well, not many people actually, but what they will do is they will skim through all of the headlines. They'll read the parts that are compelling and talk to and speak to them and that they really connect with. And that's where you start to get some enrollments. Now, what you do with copy like this is the next step of this is really read it through. So it is nowhere near perfect yet, but it's pretty close. You've got a formula to write to. It'll take you about an hour to put that through if you're sort of thinking about and putting through something like ChatGPT. or if you write it yourself, it'll probably take you a few days to do it, but you've got a formula to write to. And the more you do it, the quicker it's going to get. I don't know if, sometimes I don't use ChatGPT. I really just run through this particular formula right as I go. And, after a while, you can start to write quite quickly with it. If you're good speaking, then you can speak it and use something like otter.ai to record and transcribe it, and that gives you the basis of it as well too. And if you're using otter.ai to transcribe it, one little trick you can do is to come back to ChatGPT and grab each section out of Otter and say, this is the raw transcript from me speaking. Now turn this into good conversational text for a sales page. That'll tidy that. That's the quickest way that you're going to be able to edit the copy into something that is, is good and readable. You can add a different thing to the prompt to say, act as an editor, a good professional copywriting editor, and turn this into good readable copy for a sales page. So you can do it, and that's a really quick way to take it from Otter and to use ChatGPT to really tidy it up. So that there is the pasta formula. Now that actually comes from this book here by Eugene Schwartz. You can buy it. I did see it on Amazon. It was £440 on Amazon. It is out of print and it's very expensive to buy. Or this link here, you can download it for free. Except it's just going on. We'll drop that link into chat. You can download it for free. There's a whole lot more information in it around the formula, but that's basically the formula that I use, and you can use it in combination with ChatGPT. Now, I have created a worksheet for you. So if you want to sort of use a worksheet where you can cut and paste it all into there or to write into it, scan that QR code. It is a Google spreadsheet. You can save it to your computer, and then you can just ensure that you've addressed each of these issues in that spreadsheet. So it's a good way to check off that you've covered it all off. And we'll drop these links into chat as well too. And for that sales page that where I've copied all of the information out of ChatGPT, you want to see an example of it, using that pasta formula. That's that 16 pages there. You are free to download that. Just again, scan that QR code, download it, and that'll give you a good guide to write your own copy. Excellent. That was probably a fire hose of information tonight. Any questions at all? Any feedback on that there? Oh, look at that. Lots of birthday cakes coming down. That must be for Diana. John, how are you going?
Good, thanks, Nick. Look, just for a landing page, I'm selling a free webinar which leads to a paid course. How many words on the landing page? Like how much actual copy should there be?
That is a really good question. And the simple answer to that is as much as it needs to be. So people often think it should be short, it should be long, but no, it should be as long as it needs to be to get the job done. So your landing page, the structure of the landing page is a whole nother topic as well too, which I would have liked to have covered here as well. Maybe we'll do that in another session. But the important thing about the landing page is your call to action, and that you've got a single call to action. They can only do one of two things on the page. They can either fill in your form or click the button, or they leave. So you want to make sure that's at the very top. And then below it, you can have you can have that full copy below. So having that full 16 pages on landing page, good as gold. Because often the more information you've got, people may not read it all, but it's there if they want to read it or if they need to have more detail. If you don't have enough information there, then it's more likely that you're not going to get the the click-throughs with less information than you are with more information. But more information is not necessarily better. It's just about it being quality information and really addressing what people want, if that makes sense.
It does. Thank you.
Excellent. Fred, he says, I hate long copy. Yes, indeed. There are not many people that read all of the long copy. You can guarantee this though, anyone that reads all of the copy are probably going to buy, or they're your competitors. All right, any other questions in there? Any hands up? Aldrin.
Yes, I absolutely love that, Nick. Thank you so much. I've got a question around what sort of priced products would you sell from a one-page landing page? Now, if you look at people like Russell Brunson, the founder of ClickFunnels, now he has sales pages that just seem to go forever, right? However, when it comes to, if people don't really know you that well, they get on a landing page, would you go straight from a landing page to, say, a $2,000 or $3,000 product or more, or would you just go to, say, a $1,000 product? What would be a good figure upsell from a sales page, or is it limitless?
Look, it just really depends. It depends on your audience, how well they know you, how sort of invested they are in solving the particular problem that or issue they've got, or what they want to learn. What's going to be more important there is to think about what's the process that people go through when they're making decisions about solving the particular issue and how much they're willing to pay. Now, sometimes people are not willing to pay a lot of money, even though they've got a real need or an issue that they want to solve. They're not prepared to pay a whole lot of money right now for it. But the process might be that as you educate them on the steps on the way through, they get to know who you are. They see that you've got results, and that there is a real reason. You give them real reasons why they should actually take action, and why solving this is going to be better for them. It can be a journey and a process to get them to higher priced products. I really find that for someone that is unknown, and I'm not talking about you, Alden, I know you're really well known, but for people that are sort of have an unknown audience, they've just never met you before. Really hard to sell high priced products without lots of marketing and lots of advertising. So I would progress people through, my funnels tend to be, offer something for free, upsell to something that's, reasonably inexpensive, and then work your way up to the higher value thing. And it doesn't have to take a whole lot of time. It might be sort of, it could be in sort of one session. It could be over a couple of days. It could be over a couple of weeks. So, but there's no right answer to it. It's just a matter of, really experimenting with it.
Great. Thank you.
But I don't know whether does that help at all?
Yeah, it does. I think, it's interesting because I guess it depends where you're leading people to the sales page from. Like if you're doing a free webinar, a lot of people say, well, from a free webinar, you might be able to sell a $500 product or a $1,000 product from a free webinar. Whereas if you're leading people from a call, you're doing a call with someone and they need to maybe apply for a higher end program, or you just take them to a massive sales page around your higher end program, then that could convert that way. So I guess it depends also how warm a lead they are.
It'll really depend that, and it'll depend what sort of relationship you've got, how well you've known, how much they've consumed of your marketing, all your previous information. So what you often don't see with those long sales pages is all the other information they've had along the way as well too.
Yeah. What I am finding lately, and particularly since COVID, I'm finding a lot of people who've had high ticket offers have been offering even more value at an even better price, is what I'm finding is what's happening with the market. And I don't know if you've seen that also, Nick. And I don't know if it's a sign of the times at the moment, or whether there's just a flood of courses out there, or whether people have
value. So people are offering more.
It could be a combination of all those things, but it seems value. Yeah, more and more value nowadays. Yeah.
But again, that's a whole nother discussion around sort of how you price things, and so understand the customer journey, and what are the pain points. So you get really digging into that quite a lot deeper. Yeah. Looks like I have had the wrong QR code on there somewhere. If we haven't got the links here, what we will do is let me see. Let me just go and grab those links for you now. All right. Let me grab this one here. Okay, copy that link. So this link here is to that spreadsheet. And I'll get the other link. So I'll just grab this other link.
Yep.
Ask away.
One more question. Yeah. So you said that ChatGPT doesn't like the long copy. What are the limits on? Is it that, like the paid version, you get longer answers? So people that are putting together ebooks and things like that, and they want, say, a whole chapter written on ChatGPT. What are the limits of the words, or how does that work?
I have found that their limits are very short. So rather than writing a whole chapter, you write segments. So just write it in sort of segments. So if you break up your chapters into subheadings, then just ask it to write a particular subheading. So all you're doing is you're doing the process that I did, is to really do a section, copy and paste it, put it into a document, then do the next section. But you do it in the same thread so that it's got that whole conversation flow, so you get that same sort of context. It is sometimes going to be repetitive as well, so you've just got to watch out for the repetition in there as well.
Great, thanks, Nick.
All right, now I've just dropped those links in there, so hopefully that's better. Sorry, Michelle.
Yes, how you going? This long sales letter, is it possible to kind of break it up so that you kind of build a relationship over a week? So you might send, part of it one day, then another, you use the pasta, but it's not all hit in one go, if you know what I mean. Because long copy for me, there was a gentleman that said that it's just like, but maybe if I was taken on a journey over a week or so, with some of these things, is that possible? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, absolutely. Just remember, people do read books, and they're longer than long sales copy. So the reason why they read books is they're interesting.
I'm writing one at the moment.
Yeah, so you've got to keep it interesting so people want to keep reading it. But I mean, all I've talked about today is writing a copy. That could be a sales page. You could convert it into an email sequence. It could be social media posts. So you can use it for all of those mediums. And what I'd suggest is that if you've got a sales page, so you've got that full long copy sales page, that when you're writing your email sequences, you pull parts of the sales page out and you use those for your emails. One is you're not having to rewrite stuff or think of new stuff to write, but also what happens is when people read it and they get to the page, there's some familiarity. So you've already talked to them once about it, and you're talking to them again. And there's that expression there. So people need to hear things 7 times before it sinks in. So this is one way to get this is your second read into it. If you're using it for social media posts, that's they get to exposure to it 3 times. Talk about it on a video, they get it 4 times. So you can really build up. So you're repurposing that content for all sorts of different uses.
Right, that's fantastic. Thank you very much.
Excellent. All right, any other questions? I'm just having a quick scan through the chat. All right.
Yeah, I've got one, Nick. I've been playing with GPTs lately, and I'm just wondering, have you actually tested them out in writing copy for you, where you tell ChatGPT, give it the whole story and all the prompts and update everything so it creates copy based on your input?
I have, but I haven't had any success with it. If I ask it to write a full copy all in one go, the way that I get success with it is getting it to write it chunk by chunk by chunk, as I went through tonight. But either my prompts aren't good enough, or ChatGPT isn't good enough to actually give me stuff that's perfect first time round. So it is a combination of me using it as a tool, doing it piece by piece. And so what I do in that document that I've created, sometimes I go and grab the content that's in that, put it back into ChatGPT and ask it to make it more concise, to edit it and to fix it up. But there's still a reasonable element of human element into it to make it work. The thing that ChatGPT can help you with is how humans respond. So, doing things like A/B split tests and those sort of things there on, say, headlines or images that you're using or parts of copy is still an important process to see which one actually converts more. And the only way you can do those sort of trials is with humans. You can't really do that effectively with ChatGPT.
Yeah, no, great. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Do I have a, yes, thanks, Natalie. Do I have a copy of the chat prompts? Yes, if you download the Google Doc, so what they link there to the Google Doc in there, which has got all of the text at the very top of it. It's got the link to ChatGPT, which will give you that whole string of prompts and all the answers and everything I've talked about tonight. Excellent. Any other questions? I think I've sort of got them all here. If I haven't, just open up and sing out? Nope. Excellent. Perfect. Fabulous. James just dropped those documents in. So what you might like to do is actually save the chat. You can save it by clicking the three little dots on the top right-hand side or down the bottom. Actually, JM and Lorena might be going to drop in some other things in there too, so you might want to just hold off for a bit. Did you say there's a link to the PDF? A link to the book? Yes, let me just go and grab that for you now. I thought I had a QR code for that, but I do have a link to the book. Okay, here it is. Very hard to find this. There you go. That is Eugene Schwartz's book. It's in PDF. So download that. There's lots and lots of other information in there as well. All right. Well, I have run over time. Thank you for persisting with it. Hopefully that's been worthwhile and helpful for you tonight. If you do have any questions or you want to explore it further, feel free to reach out. If you want to watch it again, because there's lots and lots of information in there, then the replay of this will be on the SmashGo YouTube channel. And that should be up there by the end of tomorrow. Just remember to join the Facebook group, Business Owners Smash Online. And next week, we have Derek Morgan next week, who's sitting in the audience as well. And that is all on referral marketing. And he's going to be talking about a particular app that I have trialed as well too, which is pretty awesome actually for connecting up other people as well too. So come and join us next week. Derek will be on, and that one is definitely going to be a worthwhile session as well too. All right. Anyhow, sorry, what was that? Oh, guys, that's right. I was sort of almost forgot to do the draw. Now that link that was to this particular page here, let me see if I can grab it. This is the door prize for tonight. Let me bring up the screen here. Now this is a session that I did on the weekend for another group, New Opportunity Summit. So I am offering a 6-week program, which is taking people through how to create in fact, it is an online business using other people's content. So if you don't want to create content yourself, there are legal, ethical ways where you can use other people's content. They want you to use their content. We're going to go through some concepts on how you can create a business using other people's content, and we've got some real live some examples and things that you can use on that too. So that is a 6-week program that I'll be running. So I'll be understanding where to get access to other people's content, evaluating what's good, how you can use it, whether you use it for courses, for memberships, or how you sell it, how you package it with other things, making sure that you are doing it sort of legally and ethically. That's really important. But all the things we're going to talk about is about all that there. Probably the simplest way to think about it is affiliate marketing is one type of that, but it's not all about affiliate marketing. That's one small part of it. So that's using other people's content. We're talking about building partnerships, collaborations, and also monetizing curated content. So there are ways to curate content that other people have written it and to be able to monetize it. And then we'll be, we're stepping through all the online tools that you can use to create that as a business, then how to grow and scale it. So that copy that we went through tonight is an actual example of part of what I'll be using to sell and promote that product. So you've got that tonight, but then you'll sort of get this sort of delivery as well too. So that course is selling for $997, and that was what we sold it for at the New Opportunity Summit. So I've already got people enrolled in that. So tonight's prize is that. So if you'd like to win that, stick around. Don't leave just now, because Aldrin has just raised her hand because she wants to win it today. So stick around and we're going to draw that now. So let me just unshare that. If anyone not want it, we can always take your name out of the wheel. All right, we've got our wheel of names up. So let's give the wheel of names a spin and see who our lucky winner is tonight. All right, it's spinning around and a wee bit slow. It's almost getting there. Eva, are you still online, Eva? I better just check that you're there. If you're there, Eva, just raise your hand, or open up your microphone and let me hear you. I'm just going to scroll through. Anyone see Eva there? Okay, I think Eva might have left. All right. Is she there?
No camera.
Eva's there. Okay. All right, camera's
Can't
off.
see her.
Can't see her.
Mhm.
All right, well, we've got to assume if her camera's on, she's still there. It'd be good if she said hello. All right, well, you are there, Eva, so you are our lucky winner tonight. We'll be in contact with you tomorrow, and we'll sort of organise how you claim that as well. For the rest of us, if you want to find out more about the program, just keep an eye on sort of our channel here and some of the copy that we've got going through. Thanks everyone for coming on tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do want any further help, feel free to sing out. Have a good night.
Thanks,
Thank
Nick.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. That was great, Nick. Thank you very much.
Thank you.